How's it going out there, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Had a little bit of technical difficulties there for a few minutes between me and Cody. He just had a storm go through and just got over with, and I got one going through now, so I was trying to get everything fired up, and both our internets were giving us fits. So hopefully it stays on. It looks like this storm is about out of here, and look, he's looking good on his end. Scuba Steve, how's it going, buddy? We got Cody Jarrett on here with us tonight. He'll be on here just shortly. Get a few of you guys to hop on here, and we'll take this thing off. Evening Rob, made it with ice packs on the knees. I guarantee you that's Jeff Johnson, even though it says Facebook user. I don't know why it says it's Facebook user. There's a few of you on here doing that. Jeff, I hope you're doing good, bud. Raining in Pigeon Forge while vacationing. Man, it's raining everywhere. Mark Coleman, good to see you on here. Scuba, I hear you. It's storming. We just had a pretty good storm go through. It's still raining, but we'll see what it does here. Yeah, last night we had some bad ones go through here too. We've had rain. It seems like that's all it's doing is raining right now. Brandon Roberts, good to see you on here, bud. Good evening to you. Anthony, good to see you. Get a few of you on jumping on here. I think we're just going to take off with this thing and get going. I want to grab old Cody Jarrett here and we'll get going here. Scuba Steve digging a pond this weekend, but the rain canceled it. Get out there and play in the mud, bud. That's what we used to do in the construction trade. All right, here we go. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? I feel like I just saw you.
You did. You just seen me. Heck yeah. No, I was just on here telling everybody about you having rainstorms. I got rainstorms going through right now, internet issues, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, you can see it's still kind of raining, storming back behind me. I was down in my bow shop, but we didn't have any service, so now I'm sitting outside.
Yeah. Well, it looks so beautiful back there. I think I'd rather be out there messing around in the woods instead of talking to me on the internet tonight, but
I thought the same
thing. I know the answer to that one.
That's right. I'm still trying to get over Tuesday's sinuses hanging around with you.
I hear you. I know. Hey, I'm that guy, man. I'm telling you.
Dude, I was miserable.
I'll work you hard enough to make you sick.
You did.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's what you get for coming to Illinois. I'm telling you. You never know what's going to happen around here.
And with these gas prices.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
What'd that trip end up costing you?
Just about $400.
Man, just to mow clover.
Just to mow.
Yep. That's crazy. But no, yeah. I appreciate you being on here tonight. But what we normally do here, we got a topic here, especially tonight. It's over kill plots. I know you plant a lot of them. I plant a lot of them. I see a lot more guys planting kill plots than I do actually food plots. But we'll jump on here, talk about your strategies, my strategies, answer a lot of questions. The biggest thing about these podcasts are for answering questions to the guys that pop in here. We actually got some questions coming up right now that we get to. But Good. Really, I mean, I'm pretty much here just to talk and shoot the bull about food plots. Get these kill plots. It's going to be here. Some places going to be sooner than others a little bit later. So it's almost time.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can stay on track with food plots. Knowing us two, it's hard to tell where this is going to go.
Yeah, that's true. I was hoping you wouldn't say that. So.
Oh yeah.
But no, I put something on for this little podcast here about building kill plots, how we do it. But I also put on there on these topics, we always do a did you know type deal. And, on that part there, I also put, did you know that actually kill plots can actually save a deer's life as well? When I say that, it's kind of odd hearing that, but when I say that is, when it comes to a kill plot, 90% of people out there, they're not like me where I plant a bunch of clover and stuff like that. But a lot of them are out there planting annual mixes, which are high in energy. That deer needs a good energy food source to get through the winter to put that fat back on his body. So that's where I'm getting at. You're actually helping the deer herd and saving their life. Even though it's a kill plot, you're actually helping the deer too get through a real rough winter.
Right.
So, and I know with you, you plant, between your honey hole, your fall, winter, spring, stuff like that, you plant a bunch of it.
Right.
What's your go-to one there in West Virginia that you like to plant?
As far as in one of those micro plots, or are you talking just in general?
No, micro plot. Yep.
Tell you what, I just had a conversation today with a buddy of mine from here looking to plant something. And we kind of got to talking about how long he wanted to last. Like you're saying, does he want something to last all through winter to help deer? And then we got to talking about the fall, winter, spring. But then like early season up until like it gets really, really cold and frost hard. I'm a huge fan of lights out, man, especially since you guys put the turnips in it. Yeah. You're kind of getting a twofer out of that. But, that lights out blend you guys have, it was actually kind of grown up there in Canada. So it's extremely cold tolerant. So it'll last well into the winter.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really like lights out now. And I recently just started using it maybe 3 years ago.
Yep.
And it has the same energy levels as corn does.
Yep.
So I've really turned on the lights out over the last few years. I've been planting that. I've got a food plot here at the house. And I've always called it my small food plot. It was one of the very first food plots I've ever put in. It might be a half an acre. And it's a kill plot because it's just across this little spring-fed creek. And up on another ridge is where all the deer bed. So it's a kill plot, but, I never called it a kill plot. I always just called it my small food plot, because the deer hit it, especially if you have like a fall, winter, spring or a lights out. They're going to be in there all the time.
Right.
And I've always tried to put stuff in it. I actually have clover in it now, but I am going to work that up and it'll be lights out here before summer's over again.
Exactly. And over the years of, I've known you for quite a few years now, but I go back through pictures through our Antler King pages and, I see your big honey hole plots and then I see you kind of transition into the fall, winter, spring. Now I see you transition more into the lights out. So, all three of them are awesome mixes. But, some things work better for other people depending on where you're at, they're all good, but just use what works best for you. And that's what you're finding out here. The lights out, that's a fabulous mix.
Yeah, I love that. And I kind of shied away from it. The very first year I planted it, I messed up, planted it way too soon, and it headed out on me. So I'm like, heck with this. I ain't planting this again. Well, I've come to find out I messed up, right?
Right.
Because you learn better from your mistakes than from somebody kind of talking to you. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But, another thing I'm learning over the years of doing this is I'm growing and outgrowing my food plot. So I'm trying to find blends you guys have that'll sustain more browse pressure, right? Like your lights out and your fall, winter, spring, stuff like that, because there's just so many deer now that's, getting raised around my properties that know the food's here. So it's just kind of getting inherited down through generations at this point. Because my home farm here, the very first food plot I ever put on this place was honey hole. And that was back when I bought it in 2009. So it's just been getting tweaked ever since then. And that field's been honey hole. It's been fall, winter, spring. It's been lights out. It's been corn a couple of times. It just, as long as there's food there and on your properties, it's good,
Right. And, you touched on a very good point there with planting too soon with lights out. A lot of people, they have that same issue. I know I did when I first started planting oats and stuff like that. I'm always looking at planting my lights out mix, usually no sooner than 3 weeks, but usually I'm about a month later than my annual planting time. Usually here in Illinois, I'm planting between the 1st and 15th of August. I'm doing the same with that lights out in September. You don't want it heading out on you.
Yeah, and that's right. And if you're worried about the turnips, you want them to green up a little bit, get a little taller, you can push it, maybe get it into the last part of August but that's like extremely pushing it. Like
Right.
you said, you get in them that first week and a half of September, you're going to be golden. And it just keeps growing, man. They'll browse it off a little bit and it'll keep coming. I mean, that's a killer food plot. And it's one of my favorites now.
It is. And, even with planting it and the turnips not doing as well as you think or should, and I know this is rough to say right now with fertilizer prices, as me and you both well know what they're like right now. But if you can get that fertilizer poured to them, even though you're getting them turnips planted a little later, that's in that mix, they'll do a lot better for you. So
yeah, right
now, either finding it or having to spend an arm and a leg for it, that's kind of rough right now. Fertilizer,
dude, everything's bad right now, and that's what's going to be so good about these little kill plots you're talking about. I mean, because if you have one, it's an eighth of an acre or a quarter of an acre, right? And you pull your soil sample and you send it away, and it's calling for 100 pounds of nitrogen or whatever. I mean, if it's an eighth of an acre, I mean, you're a multiple of 8 at this point. So one bag is going to go a heck of a lot further. So
yeah, exactly.
I think with these input costs being as high as they are right now, these smaller food plots are going to be kind of our bread and butter this year.
I think I agree 100%. I mean, and with all the customers I deal with, it's usually that eighth, quarter acre, somewhere in that range there is what I'm dealing with a lot of people on. They just don't have the area for the bigger plots or don't have the cutout areas. And I mean, that's pretty common to hear an eighth to a quarter acre, especially for any kind of a food plot, kill plot, anything. That's all they got to work with. So like you said, you want to use something that's going to continue to grow, like the lights out, like the fall, winter, spring with the cereal rye. You want something that as them deer browse it down, it's going to continue to come back and give them all the food they can out of that plot.
Right. Even that blend you guys have, what's it called? No Sweat, or that
No Sweat.
Yeah, that's a really good one too. And all these food plots, especially, your lights out and your No Sweat, they could be put in with hand tools, man. We've done it, So it's, I mean, that small food plot I was talking about, I put it in with a garden rake at the time, because when I bought this place, I didn't have any money. So whatever I could get my hands on, that's what I was putting food plots in with. Borrowed a tractor, borrowed a tiller to do my honey hole field, because it's a tick under 2 acres back there. And that's that long right away field that you see. But that small food plot, I just use just a regular old lawn rake, and it was a one from Sears. So I'd rake and it'd break, and I'd take it back to Sears. They'd replace it, no questions asked. I'd come home, I'd rake, break it, take it back, replace it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
That's probably why they're shut down right now, though, right?
Yeah, it could be. You're the one putting them out of business. But no, I'll tell you what, some of the best food plots I ever had was ones that I've done with my hand, with a steel rake, little pump up sprayer. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Little blood, sweat, and tears, all it is, and it'll pay off big for you. If Mother Nature treats you right, anyway.
Right. Yeah, she's cranky right now.
She is cranky. I'm praying that I got all of my stuff in for this spring right now, because if not, I'd have to wait. We just got way too much moisture in the ground, but I got the barricade done in decent time, and so I'm good to go. So what's going to happen? It's going to get dry, and we'll have a drought, and I'll be crying, so we're not getting rain before too long. So
that National Weather Service, they just put out a map for the year, and it looks like Illinois, where we're at, and up into the Iowa, southeast Iowa, and that part down all the way down into the Gulf, they're talking like about moderate year, about average. But then the further you go west, they're saying way less. The further you go east, they're saying way more. So it's going to be a goofy summer, I think.
No, I got a feeling you're right. I think so. It's been off and on here. Today's just been horrible. I mean, you get the sun to come out for 10 minutes, the next thing you know, you start hearing thunder and it gets black again. It's just been crazy.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes.
I pulled an power plant from the other day going out there to mow.
I know you went home. I knew the only reason you went home, not because of the rain, is because you had work you could go do. I knew that for a fact.
That's right. You know me. Frugal.
Oh, I know you too well. Yeah, I know. Much as you work, you'll be able to retire at 40. So.
I hang around with you too much.
Yeah, I hear you. Every time you're around me, you're either spending money or sick, one of the two. Or sick because you're spending money.
That's the reason.
That's it. I'll tell you what.
we spent $71 in diesel fuel just to mow.
Just to mow, exactly.
Crazy, man, crazy. And that was the cherry flavored diesel, the cheap stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
But no, I'm pretty lucky here at the house.
So I'm going to scroll down here and see if we got some questions here that I'm missing.
Yeah, I can't see any of that. But no, I'm lucky. I'm not putting in any spring food plots here at the house. It's all going to be really late stuff because I've got Jimson weed that I cannot kill. Gly won't kill it. So I'm just going to wait. I'm going to plant lights out in that field because it'll be that Jimson weed will be up and I'll be able to knock it back before it seeds out on me and then put lights out behind it, you know?
Oh yeah, that worked out great.
Yeah. Going to have to try to get rid of it, man. It's nasty stuff. Gly hardly touches it.
No.
And Gly's expensive this year.
Yeah, it's very expensive. Yeah, I spent $120 on a 2.5 gallon jug. Now, I ain't spraying nothing around my yard this year. It's going all in the food plots. I ain't putting no money in my house.
That's right. Attaboy. Start buying some goats.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to. I might fence my clover off and to turn some goats loose in it about once every other month.
Take them to my place.
Hey, I'll tell you what, if I fence my property off in Illinois, I can buy one goat and I can use mineral then because it's agriculture. So
now,
I can have mineral.
There's a loophole in everything.
Wonder what 40 acres of fencing it cost me. The things I would do if I could use mineral in Illinois. That's crazy, man.
Right?
Oh, but now we got Mark Coleman in here asking, what does the perfect kill plot look like in your opinion? Well, you know, with me, I want the most forage,
that's right,
most lush green. You know, actually for me, I want the biggest weed-free plot you can ever see. But don't get me wrong, deer eat weeds and grasses all day long. So in the manual plots, if you got some weeds and grasses in them, don't sweat it. Me, myself, I like the golf course look. I don't know why. I just do. But no, just a big forage plot. The most forages I can give them. You know, if them plants can grow 3 foot, I want to grow them 3 foot. You know, I don't want them 1.5 feet. I want to give them everything they need to get to their full potential. And for that, the deer are going to benefit from them.
That's right. Yeah. And like that small food plot I call it here, it's a kill plot, like I was saying. But what I like about it is the edges are so feathered because we had that emerald ash borer come through. So all of our ash trees are dead around here. And there was a lot of them back there on that point, and they were falling. So as they would die and fall over, all that multiflora rose would grow up. So that food plot, like the deer really have to, there's only a handful of trails that come through that stuff to get into that field now. So them edges are really feathered. So they can't stand off back in the distance and look and see what's going on in there. You know, so I think having feathered edges where they can't see is a really good idea. Even if you have to hinge over some trees just to kind of soften it, that it's not just wide open. And another thing I learned from that little food plot back there is you got to be more concerned about what's up versus what's around you as well, because you still would like to get, 4 or 6 hours of sunlight on that plot if you can. So if you have to knock back a couple trees or get you a power pole saw or something and trim out a bunch, I mean, I think that's just as crucial as the seed you're putting into the ground or the fertilizer, getting that sunlight in there.
It is. Well, and you just touched on another one there with the openness of a plot. You know, the last 3 years now, I've been using our barricade product to wrap a lot of my plots or my kill plots, or even just block off ends where the deer have to come and investigate. So to even go a little farther with Mark's answers, I'm using that barricade quite a bit. I want them deer to have to come and look into that plot to see what's in it, and not that buck stand over there 300 yards and just steer across the field and know there's nothing in it. It goes opposite way. So barricade is a big part of my kill plots these days too, where it's needed.
Right. It is too. I've seen it. It's good where you have it, because you actually have 2 rows of it. One up on one ridge, cross the little ridge up on the other ridge, and you got another row. I mean, that's killer.
Yep. Yeah, that one there, you get in that little piece right there, that little plot, and you start doing some calling. They got to come and investigate it, because the timber is so thick on the east and west. In the north and south, I got that barricade, and they have to come investigate. see what else we got here. Old Anthony's talking about Lights Out's one of his favorites.
Anthony knows what's up.
Oh, Anthony does. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark Coleman's full of them tonight. What soil type do you have? Also, what is your pH? You know, Mark, with me, I'm running pretty good black soil. Some of my, I got a couple areas got a little bit sandier soil in it. Most of it's all black. And I'm keeping that pH anywhere from a 6.5 to a 7.0 as much as I can, pouring a lime to it every chance I get and I need it. So, I mean, I'm just trying to build that soil as good as I can. So, yeah, it's mostly 99% of mine's all black.
Lucky.
Yeah. Oh, you got a farm full of black up here too, but now where you're at's a different story.
Yeah, here in West Virginia on my home farm, it's more of a clay loam, and I actually plugged the soil last year, so I know what everything is right now. That small food plot of mine, it's 5.7 to 6.3, and the reason it's so acidic is because there's pine trees, right?
Yep.
And them pine trees just suck the life out of everything. But I leave those pines there because they're not too tall, and it gets a little bit thermal cover in the winter. So I leave them there, just plant them away from them. But as soil samples, I mean, especially with input costs right now, soil samples, man, they're worth more than anything right now to do.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know who it is because it says Facebook user, but you got a fan on here that says,
great.
How do you know what you're talking about? How's it say?
It's probably Woody.
Know that you know what we're talking about, Cody?
Listen, that's probably Woody. If I had to guess.
That's what I was going to say. I bet you that's Woody. I'd almost bet money on it. But it says Facebook user.
That's Woody. It has to be.
Timmy Lambert. Good to see you on here, Timmy. See what we got here. Another Facebook user on here saying this year might be lime only and hold off on the fertilizer except to boost the turnips after germination. I might use urea. Now, I'll tell you what, the fertilizer prices are going crazy. And what I found here in my area, where I used to go buy all at my co-ops, they won't sell it to me. I'm not buying enough that they're even dealing with this year. Like I usually buy my potash, I'll go buy 400 or 500, 600 pounds of potash. They won't sell it to me this year because they're saying there's such a shortage in it. And the farmers are using it all.
See, so, and whoever that was hit the nail on the head. Because back what I was saying, when I bought this farm, that first food plot I ever planted was honey hole. And that's what I did. I tilled it up, and I cold packed it, and I seeded it. And then once it started coming up, that's when I put, urea on 4600, and it did really good.
Exactly.
So there's nothing wrong with that.
No, long as you know what you're doing with that urea. I mean, I use it every year. I mean, you just want to watch and keep from burning stuff, And
and a lot of the biologists say put it down actually when it's raining, because once it's out, it starts evaporating pretty quick. So the biologists recommend putting it down when it's raining.
Yep.
It's $33 a bag right now. So you don't want to waste any of it.
You don't want to waste any. No, you don't want to get too close to the wood edge because you don't want to throw any over in the trees anywhere. You want it all on that plot right now. So
listen, I'd be in the woods picking it up and tossing it back in.
I know you would. No, you'd be putting cardboard across it so it hits the cardboard and bounces back off.
I'd have you walking next to me, blocking it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh man. Let's see what we got here. Is urea good to use on your fall, winter, spring? And if so, how much? This is from Scott. Scott, you can use urea on the fall, winter, spring, especially with the radishes and stuff in there right now.
If you're bored, love it.
Yeah, it's just going to depend on the size of your plot, on what you're doing there. You don't want to go crazy with it, but it just depends on what you got there, size of your plot, and the whole 9 yards there. And really, I mean, I still want to know what your soil is, but you can still use it without it. But, it might not need as much as what you think either. Well, somebody knows me on here too. It says Facebook user. It says you got the special naked rain dance you did last year. Yeah, I remember that dance. That didn't go very well on Facebook.
I had to film it. I remember it.
No, I know you'd remember it.
No, man, we got the rain out there last year. We was getting 6 inches at a time.
No, it was horrible. It was awful.
I mean, my whole body.
It was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we went to no rain, well, you got some rain before I did. You're 45 minutes to almost an hour south of my property, and you was getting some rain where I wasn't, and then all of a sudden that third day of October, they opened the floodgates, and it just wouldn't stop then.
Right.
So, Jason's on here talking about. He says he likes L-shaped kill plots, so they have the cover and the whole plot to see what's there, and that's exactly right. Yeah, I actually have one kill plot that's an L-shaped plot that 90% of the deer that I or my daughter harvest, they're usually coming to that L-shaped plot. They like that little area there on that power line.
Yeah, some inside corners, man. I'll take an inside corner any day of the week in the field.
Oh, heck yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mark's on here asking, so would you toss a doe decoy in the middle of the kill plot, uses eye candy to draw that big buck in closer? I'll tell you what, Mark, when it comes using a decoy, I'm finding that right time of year, and it's gonna be a buck decoy. I know a lot of guys that use the doe decoys. I have no issue with it. I mean, I just always have better luck using a buck decoy that, I could use it 5 days in a row and not have a buck even look at it. And that 6th day, every deer will come running 100 mile an hour after him. It's almost like rattling. You just never know. But I like a buck decoy, and not a great big monstrous mature buck decoy, but I like something that gonna bring them boys in. See what we got here. Just keep going crazy on here. That's good.
It's a good night then.
Yep. Got a Facebook user saying he uses 100 pounds per acre on his turnips and brassicas. He's probably talking about urea there. I'm not for sure. It kind of goes along with what we were talking about earlier, so I say it is.
Right.
Mark's on here again. Mark's got all kind. Mark must have been making notes this morning or something, waiting for this to fire up.
I like Mark. It's good.
You guys don't know Mark Coleman. He's a pro staffer for me. So Mark's a very good guy, very knowledgeable. And this is why he's so knowledgeable, because he always asks questions no matter what he's dealing with. And that's why I like about Mark so much.
Good.
So I have an 1/8 acre kill plot. I have several small trees scattered throughout. Should I remove these trees or leave them? Does it matter?
Get rid of them.
Yeah, I'd get rid of them. I mean, if you want to leave one for like a rubbing post or something like that, absolutely. But the rest of them, I get rid of them.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, I don't want anything that's going to be stealing any more moisture than it has to, the whole 9 yards.
That's what I was going to say. No competition on something like that. You need everything you can get.
Yep. Them trees will suck moisture from a long ways away, even though small ones will. They got a long root system. They'll suck her away. So, yep, get the rid of them. See what we got. I know I missed some up here. They're coming in too fast. You know me, I'm not too bright when it comes to computer stuff. So
use that.
You were thinking it. Jason's asking, what is the best mix to follow corn to build back the soil? Kind of depends on what you're talking about there, Jason. If you're looking at a spring planting, I'm going with my clovers, my chicory, stuff like that, especially clover, alfalfa. Go with some peas, beans. Fall of the year, you could do the same, but I kind of like getting in with that fall, winter, spring with the cereal rye to help build that soil. Then the next year, you turn it under and put all that organic matter into the soil. I mean, that's my opinion.
Yep. Don't forget about red zone now. I mean, that's got buckwheat in it. And that's really good to follow up on something that's kind of
that. You're exactly right. I always say peas and soybeans, but I never say red zone. I always say that, but I just never do. But yeah, red zone is a phenomenal mix for something like that.
So I got that buckwheat, man. That buckwheat, if you can get it up, man, them deer love it. Red zone's really good.
Yeah, red zone is. Red zone's a good one. And red zone, just like soybeans or your peas or corn or anything like that, I try to tell people, if you're going to go out there and try to plant it in an eighth acre plot, the deer are just going to wipe it out. They're not ever going to let it grow. They like that lush green little forage coming up. So if you can get them a bigger area, when it comes to our red zone or peas, soybeans, corn, stuff like that, they got better odds of making it through and maturing out. So yeah, if you can get it to grow in your area and you got a big enough area, you cannot beat it. Right. And one thing about red zone is too, I really like, when I plant a lot of red zone, I plant mine in the springtime of the year, and then I'll come back in middle of August, and I'll just walk through that red zone, and I will broadcast honey hole right through it, and let a rain come in on it. And then you have all them greens and all that good energy food source coming up through the ground there too. So you kind of got the best of both worlds for an awesome hunt over plot through late season, spring of the next year. Right. Floyd Young on here, another pro staffer, is saying he's excited to put in some of our southern greens this year. I sent you some southern greens, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a good one. This is a mix that we kind of put together with the mindset of the southern states until we tested it, and come to find out, and up in the North Woods, all the way through here and down where you're at. And I mean, it did great everywhere. So, and this is a mix that's got collard greens in it that the deer are going to they're going to eat as soon as it starts growing. So you got some radish in it and everything. It's going to be a very good blend for them guys, especially the smaller plot areas and stuff. Very easy to grow, a little pH tolerant. So it's going to be a very good. What I'm working with here.
Having trouble reading again.
Yeah, You should see me try to spell. Oh my! Just those a small new plot. Second day, think I'll throw out some honey hole in it.
Right now?
Yeah, I was going to say, Adam. I mean, I would wait till this fall for a fall planting on that honey hole bud. I wouldn't be planting it right now. Where are you at, Adam? Tell me on there where you're from.
If that honey hole's good, that's always been my favorite.
No, you can't beat that. And 28 years running, it's still our number one annual seller of all the plot mixes we have. It's still our number one.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Mark's asking, with the fertilizer prices so high, is it more cost effective to use liquid fertilizer like Plot Max, Jolt, and Clover Fuel? Mark, I actually just dealt with a gentleman yesterday on this, that, again, depending on your soil, what you got in there, stored nutrition, nutrients and stuff like that, you need that granular. The granular is going to go so much farther for you, especially if you need to get that soil build up a lot. Now, if you're just maintaining it, you can't beat the Clover Fuel and the Jolt. The Plot Max, the soil conditioner, I mean, that to me, that is a must on all plots. It breaks down that soil for them plants to be able to utilize all the nutrition that's in the soil already. But maintaining them, the Jolt and the Clover Fuel, you can't beat them. But if you have a plot that it needs a very, very good amount of fertilizer, you're going to be using an awful lot of liquid to get it built up to where the granular would do it a lot faster and probably it'd be a lot cheaper for you, even though the prices are up.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, it takes a lot of liquid to equal a pound.
Yes, it does. Yeah, I was trying to think yesterday when I was calculating all that out of that urea. I think we were doing it in a 5 gallon of spray. At 32% urea, 5 gallon of spray, you're only getting about, it was under a half a pound per 5 gallon of water is all you're getting out of it.
Yeah.
By the time you dilute it so much.
Yeah. Woody and I had this conversation last year, and he's an agronomist, him and Tyler. So they're kind of like my cheat sheet when it comes to like dirt and stuff. If I get stumped. And we talked about it for a long time last summer, and it's amazing how much liquid you need to equal a pound of dry.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll blow your mind if you sit down with a pencil and paper and figure it out.
Yeah, it will. Well, I think that's something that one of these days need to sit down and do it, make up a cheat sheet for our customers and stuff too, because I don't think a lot of people out there realize actually how easy it is to calculate fertilizer, to know exactly what you're putting on. Instead of just looking at the bag saying, triple 19, how many pounds of fertilizer am I getting out of that for a 5,000 square foot bag? People don't realize that. You can calculate it out so quick and it'll tell you. So, right. I mean, that's something I think with people that are doing soil tests that sees how many pounds of certain things they need per acre, that would really help them out a lot.
Right.
But like everything else, if you go to the internet, you'll get 15 different answers. So, I mean, that's the crazy part.
Wrong.
Yeah. Anthony talking about grade 8 makes a fine kill plot, offers a little bit of everything. It actually does, Anthony. That's got our lights out, our fall, winter, spring, our slam dunk, and our honey hole, all 4 of them mixed into one, got the percentages just right so they're not competing with each other. Works out very well.
Yeah, and that's the key right there. Because when that first came out, I was a nervous wreck about it because I'm thinking, holy cow, 8 of them in one. But then once you sit down and you start reading the back of it and obviously talking to you, I mean, it's mixed so perfect, nothing outcompetes and chokes anything out.
Right.
So,
exactly.
I mean, as far as a one-stop shop, at grade 8, it's wicked good, man.
It is. It's a good one. Adam, I appreciate it. This Adam said he's from Jersey, and he is talking about where did I just see it at? August for the honey hole. So yeah, that you're doing good there, bud.
Yeah, I've always my rule of thumb has always been 45 days before your expected first frost. We're around here, it's like October the 15th. Now I think it might be pushed back a few days, but heck, that still puts me right in the beginning of August. So up in Jersey where he's at, I don't know when he'll frost.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I just try to keep a 45-day rule.
Yep. Roll back through here again. I don't want to miss anybody here. As soon as I find one, a new one pops out. But, talk about that grade 8, just seeing my good friend on here, Timmy Lambert's on here watching tonight. We planted a bunch of grade 8 and barricade on his property last year that just, it blew me away on how well it did, especially the grade 8. And I kind of went in there, and Timmy doesn't know this, so he's getting ready to find this out right now. But yeah, but how we had it cut up with the barricade, which you should see what it looks like now. We just planted it the other night, and it's completely different how we got it set up. Again, another great thing about the barricade, we planted almost an acre's worth of it last year. He liked it, but he seen how the deer were getting around it. So this year we changed it. So for $20 a bag, for $20 a quarter acre, we can change it. It's not like we're going out there, wasting $300 of switchgrass to till it under, to put it somewhere else. So we got it changed the way he wants it this year, blocking the deer off different. Now we'll see how it goes. So, but last year I took one of his areas and I actually overseeded it a little heavy because me, I'm not for overseeding. I do not like it. So I was using this one little area of his for a test area. And again, he didn't know this. He knows it now. But I overseeded it a little heavy just to see what it would do. And, it didn't do very well at all. Just because I went too heavy with the seed. The other spots that we did just right, beautiful plots. So, again, spring planting, fall planting, don't overseed. Do that recommended rate as close as you can, and it'll do the best for you.
Then you're talking about that barricade being a quarter acre.
Mm-hmm.
You know how far a quarter acre is? 6-8 foot wide.
It's a 1/4 mile long, 8 foot wide.
Exactly. So I mean, you said $20, man. You could fence off a lot of stuff for a $20 bill.
For a $20 bill, and again, for that $20 bill, you can burn it down the next year and put it somewhere different. It's just, that's the great thing about it. And I'm looking forward to when this stuff gets up, because last year I took some really good. Actually, I think Timmy sent them to me. Some really good pictures, because he actually has a blind that he's funneling these deer to an elevated blind. So he took an awesome picture of that grade 8 all up, the barricade all up, all through the season. I want that picture again this year with how he has the barricade now. This is show the difference you can do for, well, we have $60 in it. It was 3/4 of an acre we did the other night. So, for $60, what he did different compared to the year before. And I guarantee you how he has it and how he drew it up and thought about how doing it, it's going to make a big difference on how them deer roll through there. So he's right on a riverbed. So they can cut him in certain areas where now he's actually getting he's getting pretty stealth mode, where he's thinking about taking some farm machinery and blocking off this one area. Since the barricade won't grow in the deep timber, he's thinking about getting farm equipment, shoving in there just to keep the deer from coming around that way. So, he's really getting mad at him. He's wanting to get him to him. So he's doing everything he can. I got a feeling I'm going to see some hay bales. I'm going to see all kinds of stuff out through there here in a few months. So
be a scrapyard back there.
Yeah, but it will. Heck yeah. But anything to kill a deer. You know how crazy we get on that stuff.
Oh boy.
Let's see here. See what we got. So what are you planting on your Illinois farm this year, Cody?
And that honey hole field?
Yep.
It's either going to be honey hole, or I'm going to put it right back into fall, winter, spring. That's kind of my plan for that top field.
Yeah.
Just because, we just cut all that timber just south of it and to the east of it. Well, actually all the way around it, except for the north side of it. We cut all that timber. And if I had a big buck on that farm last year, it was in that field. So I've got to have something that's going to withstand the browse. So it's probably going to be fall, winter, spring, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You what, food plot? I've been sitting here trying to think of the name of it for 20 minutes. The alfalfa and clover and chicory.
Booner Buffet.
Booner Buffet.
Yeah.
Now that's a food plot right there.
Yeah, that's a food plot. It is.
It's still in from before you guys even had it. You sent me a bag and I tested.
Oh yeah.
And I tested pretty hard too. I did it exactly how you're not supposed to do it.
Right.
I think my tiller blew a seal or something, so I kind of just mowed everything off. Then I sprayed it, and then I just went and seeded right over top of all of that, right?
Yeah.
And it's unreal right now. I was just down there. I need to mow it real bad, but I have a hen down there nesting, so I'm not going to go mess with her.
No.
But that chicory, it looks like bananas standing up down there. And the alfalfa, it's unreal.
Yeah. It's funny with that Booner Buffet. I just had this conversation with David Holder from Raised Hunting yesterday. He called me, and he planted some last year, and just like any other clover plot you plant or alfalfa, that first year is always the ugliest plot. It always is. You're dealing with weeds and grasses. You're dealing with everything, And
then you crank the seed to it, and you're supposed to.
Yeah. And he called me and said, Rob, I don't have a problem, but I'm stumped. He said, I'm going to send you some pictures. You talking about the most beautiful clover, alfalfa, and chicory plot you ever seen. He has 3 of them. He said last year, I was disappointed. He said this year I went there to look, see what I need to plant. And he said, here's those beautiful, lush plots. All 3 of them are that way. That's how it works.
When did it come out?
This is our 2nd year.
So that one down over the hill here, and it's small. It's probably an acre.
Yeah.
It's 3 years old then. And it's unreal, man. Everything's still there.
Exactly. Yep.
How good it's just getting stronger.
It is getting stronger. Exactly right. Yeah. I know our buddy Adam Crumman. He had his Booner Buffet plot he planted last year. he sent me pictures here a few weeks ago, and oh my, I mean, it looks like a golf course. I don't think there's a weed one in there, and I want to know how he did it, because I mean, it is clean as a bell. I mean, I just couldn't believe how good that plot looked.
See, I'm thinking about tearing my clover field up out there, and it's what, an acre and a half or so, and putting it in a Booner buffet.
You know, it's kind of funny you say that. Not only did you show up the same day wearing the same damn flannel shirt that I had on, but I'm out there thinking the same thing that you just said. When I was mowing that clover plot, and yes, everybody, I was mowing his clover plot. That's the type of friend I am.
Coughing and sneezing and running from snakes.
I was actually thinking that north half of that. I love that south end. That south end is lush and good.
It's just so wet down there.
It is. I think we can take care of them weeds though, but I don't. I mean, either rip it all up to the Booner buffet end or do the top half. I mean, one of the two. You need to do something on that north end because that north end needs it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Stuff them grasses are horrible.
Yep. You just can't compete with the amount of deer.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you look back, I mean, you don't mow necessarily. The deer will keep your clover fields mowed.
Yeah.
You know, if they're small enough, like ours, you know, mine, they'll help keep it mow. But it's like the grasses and stuff they don't eat. That's what kills you.
Yeah.
And every year I get down there and I'll spray it, kill them all off, and it's awesome. And then the next year I'm fighting them again. And I got smartweed on that south side of that field because it stays damp all the time.
Yeah.
But a good mower takes care of, you know, your broadleaf, so it's not as bad as grasses. Grasses suck, man.
Yeah.
And cleth is the worst chemical out there ever because it's the most unsatisfying chemical out there.
Right.
You're waiting for everything to turn brown, and nothing ever turns brown. Then you get down there one day and it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. Right. Yeah.
It's the most unsatisfying chemical out there.
You kind of like to see it in stages, wouldn't you? I mean, instead of just thinking, I need to spray this thing again, and the next time you go down there, it's gone. You know, it's weird how it works.
My life is built on immediate satisfaction, and cleth isn't one of them.
I figured that out. Shit.
Yeah. Crop oil and cleth.
Yeah. Well, there goes that sponsorship. No. But
you remember 2 years ago when I used that was it Dawn dish soap that had the apple in it?
Yeah.
And cleth smelled like I don't know, a butthole. And then I had apple in it. Oh man, that feels for a week.
You scared deer away for 30 miles on that one.
I tried to mask the nasty cleth smell with apple Dawn dish soap for a crop oil. Oh man, what a disaster. I mean, it works.
I was thinking to myself, here comes a guy from West Virginia bringing scented soap to use for crop oil. Man, I'll tell you what, you fit right in.
I had to run up to the Walmart out there and get it because I couldn't find any bean oil or crop, nothing anywhere at that time. So with the Old Faithful soap, and you can do that. There's nothing wrong with.
Oh no, I use Dawn detergent every time.
That's
I can't
right.
tell you the last time I bought crop oil. I use Dawn detergent.
That's right. Everything's so expensive now. I mean, there's ways around everything.
Yep.
So I mean, don't think you have to go and buy that crop oil. It's I don't know what it is this year. It's probably something stupid, $80 a jug. Who knows?
Yeah. No, I don't. You know, I've seen some bean oil. Might have been Rural King the other day.
That's what I have now is Rural King bean oil.
Yeah, and I'm thinking it was $28 to $32, something like that, a couple years ago, last year, whenever. And it was it was like $64 the other day when I was there.
Oh, that's awesome! Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, you can buy a lot of Dawn detergent for that.
The yapping stuff, the good stuff.
But no, you know, you're talking about your clover plot though. One thing, and this goes to me always saying, if you can only have one plot, make sure it's a clover plot. If you can have multiple plots, make sure one of them's a clover plot. Look at all the deer that you got on that clover plot. You know, it's just amazing on what the pictures you get or see during hunting season, but they come from there, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that is almost a kill plot. It's too big. I mean, with a gun it is obviously, but with a bow I can't shoot across it or the length of it. It's just too big. But I was hunting that big 8-pointer last year. One sloppy kind of went MIA on me, and I had him dead to rights. So I was sitting in the corn, and he stayed in that clover field. All the other deer were in front of me, and he walked up and down that wood line on that where that creek is, that dredge. Walked up and down that clover until it got too dark, and then I seen him come across. So I mean, that's what's really good about these micro plots or kill plots. I think Bill Winke calls them poor man plots because you can put them in hand tools and stuff. You know, if you get them older, more leery bucks, they'll kind of stage up in it because they don't like a lot of deer around them. You know how they are, old grumpy men. You know.
Yep.
They just kind of like to be by themselves, so they'll go mill around in a small food plot. So don't be scared of them. I mean, and you can really strategically place one of these plots too with a chainsaw, a garden hoe, rake, whatever.
Exactly.
You find the bedding area where you want them, find your dominant wind, find a ridge top where you're going to get decent sun. And then another thing that I don't even think we've mentioned yet is your access. I mean, for anything, you got to have really good access, but man, you need to on these smaller plots, because if you booger them once, man, you're in trouble.
You're gone. Yeah. And you know, the biggest mistake most people make when they go in to make a small kill plot is they build the plot before they realize if they have entrance and exit or not. And then they go ahead and hunt it just because. Man, make sure you can get in and out of that plot undetected on the winds that you know that you can hunt it on, you know, because you can have the most beautiful plot out there, but if you can't get in it without boogering something, it ain't worth having it. I mean, unless you just want food, you know.
Right.
Yep. Let's see what we got here. We got some questions here. We're getting low on time here, so I better catch some of these here.
See if I can spin around and see. There we go. Get a little more.
There you go.
Yeah, it's getting dark on me.
What is the best spring plot to plant that promotes the greatest antler growth through the summer months? You know, and this is from Mark Coleman as well. I'm going trophy clover mix. I'm going Booner buffet.
Red zone.
Number one, both of them. Number one, both of them is high in protein. Both of them have chicory, which has the minerals and vitamins embedded into them. And then you also got with the Booner buffet, you got the alfalfa too. But like our trophy clover mix, you're looking at good soil, good pH, good fertilizer, Mother Nature treating you right. You know, you're looking at 10 tons of forage per acre with that trophy clover at a 30% protein. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that to pump them deer through that growing season.
Right. And it's a one deal. I mean, if I never would have tore up that trophy clover is down where I put the Booner buffet when we were testing it, that field was probably 9 years old, maybe. It was old and it was still fine.
Yep.
You know, so if you spend the time to put your trophy clover in right and take care of stuff, I mean, there's even chemicals out there for pre-emergent for clover. I mean, that's over my head, over my wallet, right? But you can do it. And if you do it right, it'll take care of itself.
Yep. Well, you know, people always ask me, they always comment on my clover plots. You know, it's not just something I go out there and plant and walk away from. It's something that I manicure them. I'm spraying them, I'm mowing them, I'm keeping them the way I want them. I just don't go plant them and let them go. You know, that's why my plots look so good, just because I spend the time with them and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy my plots just as much as I do hunting anymore. You know, right. So I mean, if you want a good looking plot, you got to put the time in on it.
Right.
And actually, talking about Timmy Lambert with the barricade earlier, Timmy just commented on here. He's going to share that picture on the Antler King page. So if anybody wants to look at that barricade that we did last year, it's a pretty awesome setup how he had it. Let's see what we got here. Jason is asking, what can you spray on Booner buffet to control weeds and grasses? Jason, spraying cleft for the grass control, the weed control, get in there with a mower, bud. I mean, you can spray it with 2,4-DB, but you're going to kill the chicory out of it. So,
and I know guys that'll take that chicory, because you guys sell them 1 pound packs of them. You know? They'll take it, and if they have just a trophy clover or honey hole, whatever, they'll take a 1 pound pack and they'll put it right in front of their stand, because that's
Exactly.
like candy to deer.
It is. Yep. Yeah. Everybody should be planting chicory. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yes, I agree. It's good stuff.
Bob, I would like to thank you all for choosing me for the giveaway. I just seen this today. We'll definitely go to good use. I'll send pics when it's in progress. I appreciate you joining that whole contest, Bob. That was good. I'm glad you got it, and I know you're going to put it to good use. Yes, Mark. The Booner Buffet needs a very good pH. Get that pH up there to that 7.0 for that alfalfa. Them are two premium varieties of alfalfa that need a very good pH in the soil to get everything you can get out of them.
Yep, alfalfa's finicky, man. It wants to be planted. I don't know. I say this, but I planted mine in the worst possible way you could ever plant something, and it's incredible right now.
Yep.
But
Exactly.
alfalfa is typically finicky, but it's doing fantastic right now. And like you said,
Awesome.
it's 3 years old now.
Yeah. Yep. Gregory's asking, good to see you on here, Gregory. How often do you recommend spraying Jolt on food plots? Let's say must be supposed to be last year. I'm spraying on new plots. I'm waiting till that plant gets up about 3 inches high. I'm spraying it then. I'm going to play Mother Nature, and I'm going to see what she's doing. She's giving me any kind of moisture, how the plots are looking. I'm going to give it a couple more doses throughout the growing season. I mean, throughout the plant growing season. But if I'm getting in that drought type situation, the rains are getting ready to start coming back in. I see that plant's kind of wilted over, even though I've already gave it a couple sprayings earlier in the year. I'm going to hit it again when that moisture is going to be coming back. So same way with my clover fuel. The clover fuel, I spray it actually a little bit more because I want that clover to be best it can be. So I'm spraying it even in a drought situation to help them plants out and survive.
And you can mix that clover fuel with your herbicide.
Herbicides, you actually, yep, sure can.
So that's really good.
Yeah,
you're spraying mix it right
in. Actually, you can mix all three of our liquids with the herbicides, which works out very well.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, sure can. Yep, that's my favorite time when I do on a new plot anyway. When I'm killing off the area, I'm putting our plot max right in there with it, helping that soil out and killing that stuff off before I work the ground. But well, guys, it's time, man. I think we went through about as much stuff as we can. If you guys have any questions, email me, let me know, find me on Facebook, or get on there and blow Cody's Facebook up. He'll talk to you.
Yes, that was a quick hour, man.
That was. I'm telling you, it goes by quick. I'm telling you, I know you've been sweating it all day, and it goes by quick. Just for you guys that don't already know, you have no idea what it took for me to get this guy on here. So I'll tell
you what. I woke up to a message. It said it was actually what Rubline put together, and you said, "Hey, I'll see you Thursday, 8 o'clock." I had no say in none of this.
You had none. I had him put that picture of you and that buck on there the whole night. I said, it's done.
Yeah.
He's got to be on it. Now I got to pay for it. So
it's been 3 years coming, I think.
It has been. I've been trying for 3 years. That's always something.
Well, you did the one live out in Illinois, and I stood on the other side of the driveway.
No, did it in your driveway, and you stood on the other side of the truck.
That's right.
Yeah, I see how it works. But all right, man, Cody, I appreciate it very much, man. Like I say, I know I'll hear from you later anyway. Keep in touch. Need something, give me a holler.
Absolutely.
And everybody,
thanks for having me.
Hey, I appreciate it more than you know. So
thanks for all the questions, guys.
Yep. All right, man. You guys take care. And Cody, I'll see you later, bud. All right. Bye-bye.